My name is Celia. Celia Alice Jones. And my life is perfect. On Thursdays, I like to cook pie, chocolate pie, my husband's favorite. I learned it from Julia Child, the French chef, in an article she had in the newspaper last week. Did you know that I was in the newspaper? Right here, on the front cover. Mrs. Celia Alice Jones, wife to Mr. Richard Jones. Richard. That's my husband, yes. Why, when I first met Richard, he was handsome and adventurous. He took me all over the world. Ever since I met that man, all I have ever wanted to do was please him. I do love him dearly. And all I could ever want to be for him is the perfect wife. Why, it's so fulfilling. My life is perfect. Now, I read the same article every day, and I suppose, why, it does help me to be the perfect wife and have, well, the perfect life. Make sure your home is a place of peace and tranquility, where your husband can renew himself in body and in spirit. My life is perfect. Oh, I nearly forgot. I almost forgot to finish reading my newspaper article. Now, where was I? Thursday, 7th of March, 1964. Well, I expect most of you out there, particularly the men, expect young housewives like myself to live quiet lives of desperation. Well, I can tell you that last week I was anything but quiet. I started off with my normal Thursday routine. I made my family a lovely home-cooked breakfast. Then I drove my children to school. The little angels. Then, when I got home, I began performing my chores. I dropped off my dry cleaning at Mr. Fields and made a quick stop at the grocery store. I also popped by next door to pick up my blender from Mrs. Martha Hoover, who hadn't returned it to me since she'd borrowed it over 3 weeks ago. I went for a blow dry around 12:30 and had my nails redone at the salon. The darn lady went messing them all up again right as she finished. I waited and had them redone. Then, when I got home, I decided to iron my husband's shirts. The ones he used to wear when we first started dating. I know how creased they can get sometimes when he goes to work, all really depending on which secretary he has that day. And then I got to my favorite part of the day. Baking pie for my darling husband Richard. Chocolate pie. You know the one I learned from the French chef in the newspaper. And I can say that as I placed that pie into the oven, I knew that this one was going to be my very best yet. I really do spend my time making sure my life gleams with perfection. That's why it was so astonishing when I decided to walk to my hallway closet. And I did the most unusual thing of taking out an old-worn shoebox. I opened the box, which is definitely not part of my routine. and from inside I retrieved a handgun. A revolver which had never been used. Mrs. Celia Alice Jones, wife to Mr. Richard Jones, was found dead in her family home on Thursday evening. From what police suspect was a suicide. Her body was discovered by her neighbor, Mrs. Martha Hoover. The family and friends were shocked. There were no warning signs, her husband reported to police. We had the perfect life. The family and friends were shocked. There were no warning signs. Why on earth would I have any reason to complain, let alone do the unthinkable? Well, I guess we did have the perfect life after all.